Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I was feeling green. I had absolutely no plan in mind with what we're going to create. I got El Rey, which is this kind of teal shade. I thought I'll pair it up with this blue and like a proper green. As you can see next to each other, they are completely different, of course. We've got Aries Season for the green, and then for the blue, I've picked up Baby Blue. I'll be feeling like I've been picking up that one way too much. I'm almost at the end, guys. Next up, we've got a nude, which is just N17, my old but true Goldie when it comes to nudes. So we're going to apply the nude first. So we've got 3 nails that are going to be fully nude. Then we're going to have 1 nail that's going to be that gorgeous, bright, neon-y kind of green. And then we've got 1 nail that's going to be an ombre. I feel like I've been doing ombres in almost every set of mine. So if you're not an ombre kind of person, or you just don't know how to do ombres and you're just getting angry at me for doing way too many ombres, let me know in the comments. I will try my best not to. But in case you do like them, let me know too, because I don't want to stop doing them and then end up actually just not benefiting you guys at all. So now it's time for the ombre. Because we've got 3 beautiful shades and they're just all kind of different in their own way, I thought I can ombre them together, make them look really pretty. Sometimes I feel like if I've got colours that are way too similar to one another, the ombre is just not as good. I just don't really like it as much. So these were just came out beautifully, actually. I loved it. Although the bottom 2, the teal in the middle and the blue at the bottom, were a bit too close to one another at first. But when I ombreed, it actually looked pretty good in the end, which is great. So I'm just going to use my Madam Glam ombre brush, just my standard, back and forth until you are happy. And then we're going to do the same exact thing between the teal and that green at the top. And then if you wanted to, you can do 1 full swipe right from the top right to the bottom. Just go back and forth all the way to the bottom if you wanted to. I do sometimes that, sometimes I don't. Depends on the day, depends how much like blend I get. It's just all dependent really on what I'm doing. So once you're happy, make sure you leave the ombre just chilling for a little while, because you can see the gel isn't really that even. So if you leave it for a little while, it will start to like level out beautifully basically, and then you won't have these weird lines, but it usually happens anyways. You can correct it with your second layer. So now it's time for a sugared nail, and I've got this gorgeous green glitter from Larissa, and I was like, I have to use it today. It's not often I use green, and I just have to pick up anything and everything that's green. Like, it's not often that I do green, you'll probably know. Here we've got another green glitter. This one's almost like jelly looking. I thought I can create my own gel polishy kind of thing with the glitter. So I'm putting a bunch of base coat onto my little palette. And then I'm going to chuck a bunch of, well, not a bunch, a generous amount. You don't want it to be too much because you don't want it to be too thick, and you also want the light to still penetrate through the glitter and make sure it cures it in place. So you actually notice in a moment when I start to mix the glitter in with the gel that I start to add a bit more gel, because I found it too thick and not as liquidy as I would have wanted it to be basically. So this is my little attempt at making up my own glittery gel polish. Here I'm just going to add an extra droplet or 2 of base coat again, mix it up again. You will know exactly when you've done it too thick, and it's actually so easy to make it too thick. I always seem to make it too thick. So doing this method actually makes it so much easier to kind of do a bit more of a thicker layer of the glitter, especially if you want an area to be super concentrated, and then kind of drag it back down and fade it down. And that's exactly what I'm trying to attempt today. So at the moment, I have to admit, the glitter isn't looking the prettiest on the nail. It's about, you know, it's all right, but trust me, we're going to matte top coat here, and that matte top coat honestly brings the beauty out of this glitter so much. I've been loving matte top coating glitter recently, and I know it's not everybody's favorite, especially because glitter's supposed to be sparkly, and I'm just a crazy woman adding matte top coat on top of it, but trust me, it looks stunning. I feel like there's a rule, and I feel like holographic glitter is just a big no-no for matte, but all the rest, it's fair game. You can just matte top coat it, and honestly, beautiful things happen. So, you know, sometimes you might think, oh, something might not look good in your head, but still give it a go, because sometimes you'll be amazed at what beautiful things you can actually make. So as you can see, I'm trying to fade the glitter down a little bit. I don't want it to be as concentrated as it is at the top. Make sure you pop it into the lamp. I do end up actually applying another base coat layer on top, just because it was still a little bit bumpy, and I will be adding some stickers later on, which is also unusual for me. I don't really do stickers often. For the next part of this nail design, we've got 2 nails that are nude, and they're both going to be basically the same. So I'll just show you guys me doing the one, and I'm doing this squiggly line, and I'm going to colour in that bottom part with the green. And then I'll cure it in between each layer. And I will go ahead and do a second coat off camera as well for you. So make sure you remember to do 2 coats. Unless your gel polish is super pigmented, then, you know, feel free to just do the one. It's all down to what you're using. And then I'm going to add an extra couple of lines following that first line that I've placed down with the other 2 colours. Now, I feel like looking back now at this design, I feel like I wish I took that teal and that blue and just picked a slightly different colours, whether it's a slightly darker blue or a slightly more darker maybe teal, or a different shade of teal if that's even possible, or the blue, just anything like that, because I feel like these 2 colours ended up being way too similar next to each other when I did the lines, and it's just a bit unfortunate. It's okay, I just wish there was a bit more of a contrast, especially because we do have this very bright, beautiful green, and then we're whacking 2 colours that are literally pretty much the same when you place them next to each other. There isn't really that strict, you know, difference. So we've got the first 2 layers applied on this. Now it's time for the little teal. So as you can see there, just follow that first line that you've created. You don't want it to be too thick, but also not too thin, enough to where you can actually distinguish the colour, especially since I'm using 2 colours that are gonna be quite the same. It's probably best that you do a bit more of a darker, like a thicker line, so you can actually distinguish that there are 2 colours. They're not just one blend of 2. So do that, do 2 layers of course as well, pop them into the lamp, and now it's time for the blue. So this is the moment where I was like, oh no, Nikki, what have you done? What have you done? This is not what I wanted. But it's just gonna have to do. It's gonna have to do. It's just gonna have to do. But if you're recreating, highly recommend different colours. I feel like this design would look so beautiful with different shades of purple or even pink. But I feel like purple's kind of colour my name, to be honest, towards this kind of nail design. I think it would look so cute. But yeah, finishing this one up, pop it into the lamp. We've got 2 there, as you can see. Now it's time to apply some stickers. So I've got green stickers, so we're going to pick up the green butterflies, and I thought I'll pop one kind of top right hand side, almost looks like it's flying away, so I'm picking the slightly larger one there. I'm going to place it down, and originally I was just going to place the one, that was the vibe, that was the whole shebang, but I was like, come on, it's kind of bare at the bottom, and you all know me, I can't do bare, and overall the set is kind of giving me very like not as extra as I usually like to be, so I obviously had to add something in there. Something, and it had to be a butterfly clearly today. Later on also we're going to do a crystal placement, same thing, it's very simplistic, you know, it's still pretty large, but it's a bit simple for my liking anyways, so we'll get to that moment in a second. So now that the butterflies are applied, I like to really press them down, because sometimes I find these butterflies to kind of like lift, or not just butterflies specifically, but stickers sometimes. So I do like to get rid of the tacky layer and then apply the butterfly stickers, so that it really like sticks down and doesn't lift whilst I'm applying top coat or any other extra like stuff that you're doing on top of the nails. Now I'm matte top coating these beauties, and then we can pop them into the lamp so they cure and become mattified, and then we can work on the rest of the nail. We've got some extra little details that we're going to place onto the kind of like the 2 squiggly line nails. We've got some stars and some glitter that we're going to actually sugar on. So we're not done with the glitter just yet. We're going to use the same sugary glitter that we used for that full nail, but we'll get to that in a second. First I decided to do the dots. I'm using my Glitter Bells Unbelievable Gels to achieve these little stars. I don't know if they fully fit in there, I have to admit. Maybe white ones would have done better. I just feel like there's no black anywhere else, and suddenly there's black. So I don't know how I feel about it, but it's there now. So you can let me know in the comments if you think white maybe would have worked a little bit better. But we are doing these stars, and it's just super simple. Grab a dotting tool, place a couple of dots. You don't have to do 3, you can do 2, 1, however many as you want, or just none at all if you wanted to. And just drag out 4 lines from each dot. Make sure you pop them into the lamp for 60 seconds. They are like nail art gels, super pigmented, and they cure tack free, which is why we're using them now after we've matte top coated the nail. So we can actually have like some glossiness on top of the matte. So same thing for the other nail. After these are cured, we are going to do that sugared effect. So because these were still bare for me, I thought, let me pick up that neon-y, like the brightest green we've got. We'll repeat the process of kind of following that squiggly line. So we're going to do one more line on top of that blue. But instead of curing it, we're going to sprinkle off some glitter and then curing it. So that's the vibe that we're going for now. I will, I think, just do the one, and the second one is going to be done off camera. But just follow where you've placed that blue one. Add the extra line. Here, once again, be as thick or as thin as you want. It'll probably just depend on how large your nail bed is that you're working on. So that will be that. I absolutely love working on my stilettos. It's just so much canvas to work on. I absolutely love them. Love, love, love. So apply a generous amount and then we can sugar the bad boys up. First it's going to look a bit crazy, but pop them into the lamp, cure them, then grab a brush, get rid of any excess, and that's when the beauty will basically appear. It's similar to when you top coat like matte, like nails that you've just buffed, you know what I mean? When you top coat them and then the glitter and everything pops. It's one of those with the glitter. You just wipe away and then the beautiful, you know, lines that you've created appear. So that's done. They're both done in the background. They're just chilling there, waiting to be showcased at the end of the video. So here we've got a huge butterfly popped into the center and cured it, of course, because it's going to be moving about. It's too heavy. Then, super easy, nothing crazy, literally boring. We're going to place some simple circle crystals. So at the bottom, I'm placing a somewhat large one, and then just next to it, we're going to place 2 slightly smaller ones, and that's all. I will place caviar beads off camera in between the crystals, but it's just, don't know why I decided off camera, but it's off camera. And then at the top, we're placing 3 crystals, and of course, going from the largest to the smallest, same thing, caviar beads are going to be placed in between the crystals, and that's it, guys. I know, right? It's just simple, easy, cutesy. I love it. I think it's so nice. It's a bit of a change for the channel. I feel like I'm just constantly making crazy ones. This one's a little bit subtle, a little bit subtler. So I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'd love to see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.